Hello, everybody. I'm Brittany Miller, and you've tuned in to Mama's Space. It's been a while, but I am back. I have a brief moment when we'll just sit down, which doesn't happen often. I've just finished pumping. My toddler's asleep, so I thought I'd better try capitalize on the time just to share a little update on where we are at. 6 weeks. We are 6 weeks into our new life of managing a toddler and 2 babies in the NICU. It's been a real roller coaster ride, and I can't believe that it's already been 6 weeks. Gosh, okay, sorry, I had to pause there because I realized I forgot I was boiling and trying to sterilize pump parts on the stove. Anyway, so if it's not clear already, my mind is frazzled and I am very sleep deprived. It has been a intense journey of the past few weeks of pumping every 3-4 hours, going to the hospital, managing everything at home, toddler, the usual stay-at-home mom life things, and recovering. But I think it's pretty clear postpartum recovery has been at the very bottom of the list, and I've had to literally just hit the ground running and do what needs to be done. But our girls, Kayla, Hope, and Lucy Joy, arrived safely on the 27th of March at 9:48 and 9:49 a.m. Overall, the birth was a very smooth, uncomplicated process. It felt very weird for me because my first cesarean was a traumatic, stressful event, and I was very exhausted and out of it at the point of doing the surgery. So it was very new for me to be so alert and awake and conscious of everything that was going on around me. The one thing we'd really hoped and prayed for throughout this whole journey was that we would be able to have a smooth, scheduled Caesar, and we got that. So I was in hospital overnight the night before the surgery, and I did have a little wobble and was crying in the preoperative section before we went into the surgery, but overall it was smooth and I felt at peace during the surgery, and we had a good team who were in there with us. And surprisingly, we heard the girls cry. I wasn't quite sure what to expect when they were gonna come out, but Kayla, already from the get-go, has shown her personality and that she was not happy with the interruption, and she cried, and it was just really beautiful and special to hear her cry and that she was okay. And then Lucy came out and she was a bit more subdued, and didn't really cry. She was just still sleeping and in her own little world. And it was a peaceful birth, and that was really special. The hours that followed were obviously hard because I wasn't able to see them, and it was stressful not knowing what was happening with them, but we just felt really blessed and supported by the team who were with us. In the end, we ended up having both of the neonatologist specialists in the delivery room, so they each took care of one of the babies, and it was just comforting to know that the best people in the business, so to speak, were there with our babies from the get-go. And they then rushed them off to the neonatal unit, and it was a good couple of hours before Simon could go see them. He was able to then share some photos with me, and as soon as I could the next morning, 5:30 a.m., I was up adamant that the nurses help me get out of bed, and I went through to the unit to see them. And I'm glad I'm doing this because time has gone by so quickly and I don't want to forget the details, but it was hard. It was so hard not to be able to touch them, do anything with them, and to see how fragile they were. Um, and in the weeks that followed, we've since learned a lot of the terms for neonatal equipment and all kinds of things in the context of caring for premature babies. But initially it was really hard to try and understand and make sense of what the doctors and nurses were telling us. And it was heartbreaking to see them hooked up to all these machines, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the hours and days from there onwards are going to look like. And that was hard and really scary. And we really had to just trust and pray that things would be okay. And yeah, that then also coupled with my own recovery, and those first few days were incredibly painful and it was hard to get up, but you just have to do what you have to do. And I had to pump because they also needed my breast milk for the babies. And yeah, it was really hard and painful, but I look back and I'm really thankful because I didn't have issues expressing, and was amazed because I had zero contact with my babies, couldn't be near them in any way, but my body was still aware of what was happening and was able to produce milk. And yeah, I had an abundance of milk, and yeah, it just meant that it was one less thing to stress about and think of, and was really grateful for that. So all in all, things were off to a great start, and in the days that followed, we just had to wait and pray and see how the girls would adjust to being in the world. And it was hard. It was hard not knowing what was going to come because we'd been briefed in the possible complications and scenarios of things that can happen following a premature birth. And it was a bit of a waiting game to see what was going to happen in the case of our girls. We quickly kind of settled into a bit of a routine. I would go to the hospital in the mornings. Simon would go in the evenings after our toddler was asleep, and I would sometimes join him if we had babysitters, but it was just a case of coordinating someone to be with Haley, prepping milk, getting stuff ready and prepared, making sure there were nappies, taking nappies through. Yeah, we found a rhythm that worked, and the hospital started to feel like home. I would arrive and be comforted by the smells and the familiarity of it, which surprised me. It was really weird because I've generally always been quite fearful of hospitals, but this whole experience changed that for me. I didn't like the machines. I didn't like the sterile, controlled environment where I couldn't be close to my babies. But I think on the one morning when I was just sitting there with the girls, watching their machines, taking in all the sounds, I just became aware of the fact that I had to be thankful for all those machines because they were doing things that my body couldn't do anymore, and were helping them with various aspects of their development and their support. And chose to, instead of being scared of the machines, to rather be thankful that we have access to different machines and medications that are out there these days to help support premature babies. And 6 weeks in, I am still fearful, but our girls are in a much better place than they were in the beginning as they've continued to develop and grow and be supported by all the machines and medications that they've been on. But it's still been scary and daunting. And as a parent with children in the neonatal unit, you really just have to trust and have faith in the staff who are on duty and the wonderful people who are working with our babies. And we've obviously got to know a bunch of them over the past few weeks, and it really helps give you a bit of peace of mind when you have to leave there each day that they are in capable hands. And yeah, but it's been quite a big thing for me to wrap my head around the idea of trusting these people to look after my babies. And also just the weird space of being mom, but I'm not equipped and qualified enough in various aspects to care for them, especially in those early few days and those first few weeks. So that there's not much you can do as a parent. You just have to watch. And that was really, really hard. And that's been something that has since improved, but I've had to really grasp and come to terms with. It's a weird place to be in for sure. Gosh, and yeah, it's all a roller coaster ride, and this whole journey is really something that you have to just take one day at a time. Little caveat, I'm returning back to this 2 weeks later. We are now nearly at the 8-week mark and been told that our girls are going to be able to come home soon, which is very exciting. But the past few weeks have been a bit of a roller coaster for me, and I've really struggled. I think, everything has just taken its toll on me, and I'm feeling the weight of this journey that we have been on. I may sound cool, calm, and collected, and while I feel like I am most of the time, I have had my moments of just completely losing the plot a little. But I'm trying to embrace it and just go with the emotions. It doesn't help to try hide how I feel or try prevent myself from feeling the feelings because, while it's been a fairly peaceful NICU stay and things could have been a lot worse during the pregnancy and with the delivery, and we were just really blessed and we are grateful for that, it doesn't mean it hasn't been hard. And I think that just the weight of that has really been sitting with me lately. So I'm been trying to lean into it and go with it. Yeah, and what I hadn't shared earlier was that we also recently got the results from my placenta report, and it was quite surprising and a bit of a shock to the system to read. So I think it was sent off to testing, which is just done standard post a birth, I think. And yeah, basically my placenta tracked as being very small. It was in the 10th percentile of sizing compared to other placentas. And I was supporting 2 babies with this small 300 something gram placenta. And it was also at the point of being tested was very advanced gestationally. So I was 28 weeks at the time and it was tracking later. So it was starting to die. And meconium was also present in it, and that usually indicates fetal distress. So Kayla, our smaller baby, she was obviously in distress towards the end. And yeah, just reading that report made me really emotional and blessed because, I go each day and I see my babies and I hold Kayla, and it's just crazy to think that there was a possibility that we weren't going to get her, because my placenta was struggling and she was struggling. And from also seeing the report results, her umbilical cord was much shorter, thinner, and less healthy than Kayla's. And that shows because she's small and she's struggled more than her sister. But we have her, and it's amazing. And yeah, it makes me really emotional, but it also makes me feel really blessed. And, as a parent, and you make the difficult decision to deliver early based on the information that you have and your faith, and you just hope for the best. But seeing the results of the report just really helped emphasize and validate our decision to deliver when we did. And yeah, just to have walked this journey and have started from a place of, well, why don't you clamp one baby or terminate both, to us having both babies they are healthy, they are doing well, and they've mostly been thriving. But nonetheless, I'm tired. My soul is tired. I'm ready for my girls to come home, and I'm ready for us to enter into this next chapter. It feels like we spent such a long time in this liminal space, throughout the whole pregnancy and the stress around, are we going to get our girls, to the NICU journey of, are they going to be okay? What's going to happen? And yeah, now in the build up to them being ready to come home, the weight of when, is it going to be 6 weeks? Is it going to be 10 weeks? Are they coming home in June? Are they coming home in May? Just all the unknown. It's been a lot, and I'm tired, and I want all my babies to be with me at home. I don't want to feel pulled in different directions all the time and overly conscious of time and to-do lists. And yeah, I'm not naive to the fact that it's going to be chaotic, but I think I'm ready for it. My heart is ready for it. I know that we are entering into a season of beautiful chaos. That's kind of been the phrase that has sat with me since we found out we were going to have twins, that our life is going to be beautifully chaotic. And yeah, I think I'm ready for it. So it's been a hectic journey, but I'm thankful, and I'm ready for what's to come. I'm sure there'll be moments where I can step in here and share bits and pieces and updates, and as our story continues. But yeah, this is where we are. They've arrived safely. It's been a long NICU stay, and they are finally ready to come home. They are going to be tiny. It's going to feel very weird to have a 2 kilogram and 2.5 kilogram baby in our house, but I think we are ready for it, and I know that we have our amazing community that are going to rally around us, and God is with us, most importantly. So I think we can do it.